Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cycling World. Professional cycling does not always announce when a new chapter is about to begin, but every now and then, a single race delivers a message so clear that it resonates far beyond the result sheet. That is exactly what happened in Benidorm, where one rider's presence alone was enough to redefine the meaning of the day. After a week filled with uncertainty, shifting plans, and unanswered questions, Mathieu van der Poel appeared on the start grid of the UCI Cyclocross World Cup Benidorm. That confirmation instantly transformed the event. What had been another Winter World Cup round suddenly became a global focal point, because when Van der Poel lines up, the race is never just about cyclocross. This was not a routine appearance. Van der Poel arrived without noise, without long build-up narratives, and without the need for explanation. His presence alone sent a message. He is ready, he is sharp, and he remains a central figure in modern cycling as the sport looks toward the 2026 road season. From the opening meters, the intensity reflected that reality. The pace was aggressive, the group stretched immediately, and positioning became crucial. Early initiative came from Tibor Del Grosso, who set a high tempo and forced the favourites to show themselves. Van der Poel stayed perfectly placed, calm, alert, and clearly in control of his effort. Benidorm offered fast, dry conditions, a circuit that rewarded power, precision, and confidence. It was the ideal terrain for a rider capable of turning rhythm into domination. And even before the decisive move, the message was already visible. Van der Poel was not testing his legs. He was measuring the race. This World Cup round mattered because of what it symbolised. Not just a winter victory opportunity, but a statement before the road season truly begins. In an era defined by names like Tadej Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, and Remco Evenepoel, Van der Poel stepped forward to remind everyone that he remains part of the sport's core power structure. Benidorm was not just another race, it was the opening line of a message. And once Van der Poel chooses to speak through performance, the entire cycling world listens. The setting in Benidorm played a crucial role in shaping the meaning of the race. The UCI Cyclocross World Cup Benidorm offered fast and increasingly dry conditions, transforming the circuit into a test of sustained power rather than pure survival. As the sun rose and the ground firmed up, the course rewarded riders capable of maintaining high speed without mistakes. From the very start, the tempo reflected the importance of the moment. The opening laps were ridden at full intensity, with the group stretching quickly and positioning becoming decisive. Riders understood that hesitation would be punished immediately. In this environment, the presence of Mathieu van der Poel created a unique dynamic. Everyone was watching him. Everyone was reacting to his position, his cadence, his choices. Rather than forcing the race early, Van der Poel chose control. He remained close to the front, avoiding unnecessary risks while allowing others to take responsibility. This approach was not passive, it was calculated. The Dutchman was reading the race, studying how the group behaved under pressure and waiting for the precise moment when one decisive action would be enough. Behind him, the contenders jockeyed for space. Small accelerations tested legs. Lines through technical sections became sharper. The speed of the course reduced margins for error, and every lap increased the strain. This was not a race where repeated attacks would succeed. It was a race that favoured one clear, perfectly timed move. Benidorm, in that sense, became symbolic. Not only because of its conditions, but because it reflected how Van der Poel approaches competition at this stage of his career. He does not rely on volume of effort, he relies on timing, precision, and confidence in his own superiority. Even before the decisive attack, the tone was set. Van der Poel looked comfortable, composed, and in control. The race felt as if it were waiting for him to decide when it truly began. And in elite cycling, that sensation alone is often enough to unsettle rivals. The crowd sensed it. The peloton felt it. Benidorm was not drifting toward chaos. It was drifting toward inevitability. And once that moment arrived, the entire structure of the race would change in an instant. The race was decided in a single, ruthless moment. At the end of the first lap, on the short climb that followed the opening circuit, Mathieu van der Poel made his move. It was not gradual, and it was not experimental. It was a sharp, explosive acceleration delivered with total conviction. Within seconds, the race was split beyond repair. That attack revealed everything about Van der Poel's condition. He did not test the field, he dismantled it. While others hesitated, he committed fully, choosing the exact section of the course where power, traction, and confidence mattered most. Once the gap opened, there was no response. From that point on, Benidorm became a solo exhibition. Behind him, the chase quickly lost coherence. The speed of the circuit and the force of the attack discouraged any organised response. Small groups formed and dissolved, but the rhythm required to close the gap simply was not there. Van der Poel, meanwhile, continued to extend his advantage, riding with remarkable smoothness and no visible signs of strain. Each lap reinforced the same message. This race was over. With the victory settled early, attention shifted to the battle for the remaining podium places. That fight produced one of the most engaging moments of the day. Philippe Orts showed intelligence and courage, attacking at the right moment and briefly holding second position on home soil. His move forced the others to react and added intensity to the chase. Eventually, Thibaut Nice raised the pace. The Belgian closed the gap, applied sustained pressure, and managed to distance Orts in the closing laps. Nues secured second place with a controlled and mature performance, confirming his growing status at the highest level. Orts, refusing to crack completely, defended his position and crossed the line in third, delivering a landmark podium result. The final classification told a clear story. Van der Poel, alone at the front, untouchable. Nues confirming his progression with second place. Orts completing the podium with a performance built on bravery and tactical awareness. But beyond the names and positions, the structure of the race spoke volumes. One rider operating on a different level, and a peloton forced to reorganise behind him. Benidorm did not produce a close finish. It produced clarity. And that clarity will echo far beyond the cyclocross season. Beyond the result and the margins, the true significance of Benidorm lies in the message Mathieu van der Poel continues to send as the 2026 season approaches. This was not an isolated performance, nor a one-day peak. It was the continuation of a pattern that has defined his entire winter campaign in cyclocross. Consistency, dominance, and absolute control. Van der Poel has been using cyclocross exactly as he always has, not as a separate discipline, but as a foundation. Each race adds intensity, sharpens instincts, and builds a competitive edge that transfers directly to the road. Benidorm simply reinforced what has already been visible for weeks. His form is advanced, his confidence is complete, and his intentions are clear. This message was first directed at Tadej Pogacar several weeks ago, not through words but through performance. When Van der Poel chooses to race with this level of authority in winter, it is never accidental. It is preparation. And it is a warning that he plans to arrive on the road already operating at maximum intensity. But the scope of that message has expanded. It no longer concerns only Pogacar. It now extends to Jonas Vingegaard, Remco Evenepoel, and the emerging generation eager to challenge the established order. Van der Poel is reminding everyone that he remains a central force in modern cycling, capable of dictating races across disciplines. What makes this particularly unsettling for his rivals is the manner in which it is delivered. No desperation, no overreaching. Just efficiency and precision. Each attack is decisive. Each solo effort controlled. Each victory achieved without visible stress. That combination is what separates contenders from references. Cyclocross, in this context, becomes a statement platform. Van der Poel is not simply collecting wins, he is shaping perception. He is establishing psychological ground before the road season even begins. And that matters in a sport where confidence and timing are everything. Benidorm confirmed that this is not about short-term goals. It is about positioning for what comes next. And Van der Poel has made it clear. He intends to arrive at the start of the 2026 season not chasing form, but imposing it. What happened in Benidorm cannot be reduced to a single cyclocross victory. It represents something far more significant for Mathieu van der Poel and for the balance of modern cycling. At a time when the sport is often framed around rivalries on the road, Van der Poel has once again positioned himself at the centre of the conversation before the season has even begun. Cyclocross has served as his laboratory, just as it has throughout his career. It is where he sharpens his power, refines his race instinct, and builds the confidence that later defines his road campaigns. The dominance displayed across the winter, culminating in Benidorm, suggests a rider fully aligned physically and mentally. For his rivals, this matters. Tadej Pogacar, Jonas Vingegaard, and Remco Evenepoel are all aware of what it means when Van der Poel enters a season already operating at such a level. This is not a gradual build. It is a statement of readiness. Benidorm was not the destination. It was a checkpoint, a visible confirmation that Van der Poel intends to shape the narrative of the coming season rather than react to it. When he chooses to send messages this early, history suggests they are meant to be taken seriously. The cyclocross season may soon fade, but the implications of this performance will carry forward. Van der Poel has spoken, and the rest of the peloton is listening.